Pi Manuel, Pi Father.
Yeah, she has one, but she's not there to help her just because she done gone through the wrong path. It's like she just gave up on her. Yeah, and
And look at
I
her
just
now.
yeah.
You know, a year later, look at her now.
We took her in as our own. You can do this. You can get through this. You don't need that drug. You can get through this. And just getting to know, barely getting to know her and the kids. And I was always telling the boys, I love you guys. Remember, I always love you guys. Yeah, then they learned to say that back. We love you so. I said, yeah, I love you guys too. Then with this last one, when we had the naming ceremony, and it was a 21 day ceremony, which she fasted from like the salt, the meat, the fat. It's just trying to prepare her body to be more stronger to take this on. And same with the baby, to be covered with ashes, to peel off all the dead skin, and it's just like a rebirth. And then on the 21st day, they washed the baby's hair, gave him the name, and then they were taken out to finally see the sun. The baby was presented to the sun. And lose him. We're all not perfect. We all did something wrong in our past. No one person is perfect, but this is the way the Creator created us, and how He took us through these paths. So it's hard life, especially when you're not wanted, and you always feel like, oh, where do I belong, or who do we belong to?
Because your cultural practices are matrilineal, so the knowledge is passed down through the female line, and property as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, that whole sort of level of challenge,
Just
creates even slightly more of a complication, I guess.
They say nothing goes to a man. It all goes to the lady of the house. But then, like a boy, you don't raise your son for yourself. You raise them to be somebody's husband, somebody's father. So the girl will always belong to you. Yeah.
Look, everybody we come across seems to call you mum and dad.
Yeah. And I mean, we just acknowledge them, and we don't push them away. And like,
I saw you get a late Father's Day present yesterday, and she'd come from a real long way for that, the ceremony yesterday, and that's something that I noticed everywhere. Different people talking about that they've come from a long way, and just sitting looking at, minimum 3 generations, sometimes 4. I think I was looking at sitting together, all beautifully dressed, all in their seats, all around the village square, and the children, the little children and the medium-sized children, so well behaved, so proud to be there, so excited to be there. But then you've also got the teenagers that have taken the time to dress up and come and sit with the parents, the grandparents, the great-grandparents, and all the aunties and uncles and everything. I know you don't realise this, but the rest of us are completely envious of something that these kids will put down their mobile phones and their computer games and turn the television off for, and come and sit with their entire family, for a ceremony that isn't a wedding or a funeral. I mean, in essence, it's something far more important. But to get children and young people to go, this ceremony is part of our heritage, as part of our people, and so I'm going to be there with and for my family. Most of them would run screaming for the hills and the nearest bottle of bourbon, and they were all there. even the mischief kids, I noticed they were on the roofs looking down. But they were there. Well, they were there, but that was interesting because I'd watched a group of them who I knew were mischief from last time I was here, slightly older boys, and they were hanging out looking cool on the roof. But I noticed when the dancers moved through the village, they were going from roof to roof, and actually they were staying with the action and watching it. And I thought, they're actually engaged. They're not just mucking around. They feel a connection. And I think if you've got that ability to create that connection, hopefully it's like a tree and it grows and sprouts branches. That's what I was thinking when I was seeing them yesterday. I was just like, wow, check this out.
Yeah.
Entire huge family groups.
Just like our ceremony, our women's society. Some of us that go in with me, we used to go in when we were younger, little girls, and then they put a stop to that. And then that's what I was talking to my grandma about it. I said, I want to bring that back. She goes, really? I said, yeah. Because look at our girls now. Most of them are walking around half naked. They're exposing what's supposed to be only seen by your husband, or you're supposed to save it for your future husband. They're going around with very, very short pants. And to us, this is very important. So our society, we don't wear anything above the knee.
Above the knee?
Yeah, because this is very precious to us.
Interesting.
And that's why I told her, I said, and that's where we learn how to speak our language. From all these songs they would sing to us down there. The older ladies would sing, and we would sing with them. They would tell us the words and stuff. We start singing with them and come out and dance, whatever. And I said, I think that's when we had more respect for ourselves. More respect. We learn how to keep ourselves covered and whatnot. But nowadays, these girls, it's just like that too again. From television, movies. Just because the way they're dressed. Now they're dressing like that.
But when they're doing ceremony, those girls all dressed up. They, you know what I mean? They were all appropriately dressed, weren't they? And they had taken the time.
Yeah. Last year when we did our ceremony, every time somebody brought something to help me with, I said, please dress up. Dress up with me in our traditional clothes. I said, maybe then the gods will answer our prayers. If we show ourselves looking nice and not exposing ourselves sitting there. And that's what I tell the girls, Tanya, if you're gonna sit there, wear a dress to show that you are a female. And not like some of these girls that sit there and they're wearing low cut dresses, and because that defeats the purpose of why they came. And the girls that are just like that catch the attention of them. And it just breaks all their why they're there. And the girls sitting on the top, some are wearing dresses and not keeping their legs closed. I don't know. That's why I told her, I said, I want to bring that back.
Yeah.
And that way, maybe they'll start talking our language again. That way we don't lose it. And that's what we tell our kids. You have to learn to speak this language. Because one day, this is going to be your test.
But I agree with you. I think that is, it's not only about them learning the language, it's about these, when we're with the woman and particularly, sitting with the older woman and we're learning waiata and learning to sing with them and stuff. That's not all we're learning, because there's conversation happening as well, and we're learning from the conversations that they're having. all sorts of things about relationships, about gathering and preparation of food, about logistics for a large event that they might be organising. It's more valuable than a school education. Let's face it, because half of what we do at school we never use again. But certainly everything you hear from your elders, you end up using it at least one point in your life, don't you?
Yeah. And that's what they used to teach us. Don't ever talk back to an elder.
Yeah.
Because their life is more precious than yours.
Yeah.
When you talk back to an elder, you cut your own life in half.
Yeah, that's a good
That's
saying.
how we were taught when we were younger. And nowadays, it's just, I guess, how you were taught.
Yeah.
But when you look at these, then now, look like they haven't been taught anything by their elders.
P P P P Manuel. P P for